get you, Sal. Welcome to the Last Three Rows of Horror podcast. We are back. It's been like 4 months, and today we've got a treat for you. We are going to do a commentary to the 1968 George Romero classic, Night of the Living Dead. So you can watch the film with us, and it's going to be Mystery Science Theater style. We're going to talk over it and commentate, and Sal's going to talk a bunch of shit like he usually does. So sit back and relax and enjoy. Before we begin, thank you all for listening, streaming, subscribing to us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and we have that email. We'd love to hear from you. Sam, what's the email?
lastrowsofhorror@gmail.com.
Before we get into it, we got to remind you, Flashback Weekend is coming up. It's the first weekend of August. We'll be there Saturday, August 3rd. It's a Thing reunion. It's a Warriors reunion. Sam Raimi and his two brothers will be there. It's a really good lineup this year. Probably the most money that this convention has spent as far as like, you know, the guests and celebrities. This is probably like a record-breaking year for them. But that's one of the best horror conventions on the planet.
Yeah.
So we're lucky we have it here in our hometown of Chicago. So if you're looking for a good convention to go to this summer, flashbackweekend.com. It's got all the info on there. So
it's a real bummer that Jane Levy canceled.
Yeah, she did.
Man.
Every year they get cancellations, but that's okay.
I was planning at staring at her from afar.
Sign guy.
Oh, no. He will not be there. Thank God. Holy shit.
You know that for sure, Mike?
He will. I am for sure.
You know that for sure?
He is strictly for Days of the Dead, and that's it.
He's doing 3 to 5 right now in Joliet prison.
Yeah, right. They let him out of his fucking cage for Days of the Dead. Holy shit. He's exclusive to Days of the Dead. You won't see him at Flashback Weekend.
He's like a cryptid. He only appears at Flashback.
Buy my vinyl! Buy my vinyl!
Space guy.
Oh my God. Space rock or space what's it? Space music.
Space music he makes.
Holy shit.
I think he's got a theremin. I don't know.
Fucking freak.
Hey, welcome back, dudes.
Yes, it's been 4 months. I know you've been fiending
3.
for us.
Yeah.
We're back. We're here.
Yeah.
It's been a busy summer. What can I say? We work.
Yeah.
But we've got so much more to come this year. A lot of great episode ideas. Next one will probably be a catching up episode. Everything that, you know, since the last episode was April. So from April to present time, it is now July. Happy 4th of July.
Yep.
We've seen a lot of stuff in the theaters. So
Who were a couple of them that you were talking about? You were gonna get into?
Definitely. Yeah. I've been to the theater a lot, seen some good ones. I'll just name one. It's Late Night with the Devil is probably my favorite horror film this year. Second film, that's my favorite of the year. Not a horror film, but Sasquatch Sunset. If you haven't seen it, go out and see that. You probably want to watch it under the influence of something. Watching it sober is going to be a different experience, but if you're under the influence of something, you will really enjoy the film.
It's one of those where you got to give it a minute too. It's there's like 3 or 4 parts where it really pays off.
Oh, yes, big time, big time. I mean, you will. I mean, it's entertaining. You'll probably laugh. I laughed.
There were like a couple of parts, just to ruin one part. They come upon, like, the family comes upon, like, a road, you know? And they're like, it's like bewildering to them. They're like, what the?
Concrete?
What the and immediately the movie gets fucking crazy. They're like, and they start, like, shitting themselves on the road.
They piss all over the asphalt. I'm not going to ruin it for you, folks. That's a spoiler right there. Yeah, there's so much more of that. The movie's really gross. But check out Sasquatch Sunset.
Yeah, but you said that there's some funny parts, Mikey.
There's definitely some funny parts. That's one of them. Yeah, I mean the movie's not a comedy.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. It's an artsy fartsy A24.
No, wait a minute.
There's a lot of funny parts in it.
Was it silly or was it funny? Because silly I could put up with.
I mean,
but funny,
silly, but not Sasquatch? Silly without the intention of being silly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was great though. Like the dad like eats these fucking mushrooms and he's tripping out, but they don't make it like a a psychedelic play. It's like they just show him and he's like fucking wigging out.
Yeah. Then he decides to take on a mountain lion.
Yeah. Now I know you told me to get on that Sasquatch one.
Oh, do it.
But you know what though, Mike, I've watched so many of them.
No, this is nothing like you've ever seen before.
But
it is a really original movie. I'll give it that. that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's fun. I recommend it.
Forget
yeah.
about Boggy Creek. Forget about Abominable. You've never seen a Sasquatch film like this one.
Yeah. It's a little bit sad.
Yeah.
There's like,
Yeah.
Is it really?
It's a range of emotions.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Riley Keough was really good in it, I thought.
You know who her grandpa is?
Nathan Fillion, I think, right?
No. Riley Keough?
Oh, Elvis.
Yes,
I thought
yes.
I thought you meant in the movie, like the dad
Seriously?
character.
That's like her mate.
Wow.
Yeah, her mom is Lisa Marie Presley.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mike, did you see? Was Sasquatch? Was he a giant? I mean, he wasn't? Was he a guy or was he?
There's 4 of them. It's a family.
Oh, it's a family.
They actually don't look that big to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, did they just
He's like,
did they disassemble people?
No. There is okay, I'm going to spoil it a little bit. There's no human beings in the film. There's no dialogue in the film. But the family does discover human stuff. Yeah. It's artsy fartsy. It is a slow burn, but it is so entertaining.
Oh, it's a slow burn too.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry,
If
dude.
it's A24, it's going to be artsy fartsy.
You know, usually when
Very
I see
stylistic.
yeah, but usually when I see A24 pop up, that means it's going to be
It is
reasonably good.
It is good. Have I stirred you wrong ever?
No.
Then
kind of, I think, like,
jump on.
No.
like the title of the movie is Sunset, Sunset, meaning like, they're like the last of their kind. And they're
Yeah.
like, the whole movie, they're like looking for other Sasquatches.
Well,
and-
well, like I told you dudes, I've been watching a lot of drama lately. We all have talked about giving our horror a little break.
Mhm.
But I really want something good. I really want to go see Quiet Place 3. But since none of the other cast
if
is in it,
you
though,
want
Mike.
if you want good drama, I think this one is going to be up for awards. Bikeriders.
Yeah, you said it was good.
Fucking
Well, I
great.
love Tom Hardy, man.
He's awesome.
Tom
in it.
Hardy just can't do any wrong.
He's got a Chicago accent. In
Oh,
this
he
one.
does?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and is it dated in the 50s,
Not 100% on that. I want to say 60s.
60s?
It's like 60s Chicago.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay.
Well, the movie, for those of you who don't know, we're talking about Bikeriders. It's in the theaters right now. It's based on a book. This journalist followed around the Outlaws MC. They started in McCook, Illinois, which is right by us here, and it's all about how how they started as an MC, but then turned into a gang, very violent gang, along the lines of like Hell's Angels. They were pre-Hell's Angels. The Outlaws.
oh, they were?
Yeah, but in the movie they're called the Vandals. But
Oh.
they're supposed to be the Outlaws. So
I
they
feel
are
ya.
by no means good people. They're actually very bad people.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie, man. Great
Yeah.
cast. Very good cast.
Tom Hardy's just such a chameleon.
Judy Comer. Smoke show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Tom Hardy's
and
girlfriend?
some good stuff too.
No.
No?
But she's in the film.
She's in the film?
Yeah.
Okay.
So check that one out. And Sam's going to tell us a little bit about George Romero films. And I am sporting my Pittsburgh zombie capital of the world shirt.
Nice.
Because the
Monroeville.
movie was made in Evans City, Pennsylvania, right outside Pittsburgh. So
What do you got on, Sammy?
What do I got on? Let's see. I don't know if you can see it. Charlie's Angels.
oh boy, the 3 of them. Sal's got his Mad Max shirt on.
Because I just finished. I was telling these guys at lunch or whatever. I just finished Tom O'Neill's book, Chaos. I think it's called. It has a subtitle like Counterculture, CIA in the '60s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, really awesome story where they like kind of break down like Vincent Bugliosi's whole story, like the prosecutor of the whole thing. Like there was no real helter skelter or nothing,
Oh, Charlie,
yeah,
Charlie
it's,
was just nuts.
Yeah,
And
it was
his
a really
his followers were
yeah.
nuts.
It gets real deep though with like people like the CIA was kind of like
They were involved.
giving the family like meth and fucking LSD to distribute and kind of looking the other way on other crimes and
That is one theory.
very
there are
very
many.
weird stuff. Yeah,
Well,
it's
Mikey,
a big story.
To jump the gun, I got to jump the gun, buddy. When we go to the Warriors convention, that's all I want. I want Warriors t-shirt, hopefully a vest,
Ooh,
and maybe some signatures. I don't care who else or what else is there. I'm strictly there for the Warriors.
that's cool.
Strictly there for the Warriors.
They're all
man.
gonna
Big
be
huge
there.
fan. Big huge fan.
Warriors.
All right. Well, yeah, this was we're talking about Night of the Living Dead. This was directed by George Romero. Yeah,
My man.
so George A. Romero, previous to The Night of the Living Dead, he had only directed one short entitled Expultations or Expostulations. Yeah, is that how you pronounce that?
I
Yeah.
believe so. He made industrial films.
Yeah.
So like if you're if you're like in the HR office at a new company and you need to watch a video, a training video, back in the 60s, 50s, he was making them.
That's great. I imagine the VHS tapes pops on. Boom,
He was making them.
What do you mean? What do you mean he was making them? What?
He directed industrial films.
Really?
Oh yeah, and you know where he filmed a lot of them? Mr. Rogers' studio in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right. He was better known as the industrial filmmaker, like Mike said, who created TV commercials, promotional featurettes, and industrial training films. One of his assignments was to shoot short films that were used on the television series Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So after Night of the Living Dead, he would go on to direct such films such as Season of the Witch, The Crazies, The Amusement Park, which was shot in 1975 but only just released last year.
That's right.
Martin, which is George's favorite film, one that's closest to the original vision he had for it. Also Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Survival of the Dead, Night Riders, Creepshow, Monkey Shines, Two Evil Eyes, and Bruiser.
Oh yeah,
we've covered a lot of those on the podcast already.
I believe we have.
Yeah.
Did Bruiser, Sammy?
Yeah. It's a weird one.
It's not my favorite.
It's not great.
But the Misfits are in it.
Yeah, the Misfits are in it. I just...
Yeah, not his best.
I just didn't get it. It didn't hit me.
Oh,
at
you know
all.
which one I think you missed? Dark Half.
Dark Half, yeah.
Oh, that's a good
That's
one.
another good one.
Mike, did you like Day of the Dead?
Of course.
When
great.
I thought that was more involved with the zombie character. There's been so many remakes now that are saying I forget what zombie movie I was watching the other day on Tubi, and they had said that a real zombie has no human emotions anymore. Well, this set of zombies, they'd only attack you if they felt that you were going to attack them. So I can't. Again, I'm sorry, my horrible memory. There was two girls running away from them, and they said, "Don't scream! Remember, don't threaten them. If they feel threatened, then they'll eat you." Well, that's how they got away. Is they just stood there, and that's what that kind of reminded me of that movie that he made, because he was teaching them how to. Was he teaching them how to use a phone?
Yeah.
Wasn't it a phone and his headset?
Bub.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was cool. I
He had a radio or the Walkman and everything.
Did you like that, Sammy?
Yeah,
did you like
it.
that? I love that they added
Does the
that.
salute?
Yeah, he does the salute. Yeah, but the makeup job
Aye.
was
You can
magnificent.
thank
Oh man,
Savini.
when they ripped that guy on
Yeah,
the shreds,
dude.
that is so
You can
good.
thank
I love it.
Nicotero and Savini for that one.
Yeah, Savini. It's
great.
man.
So as we talk about Night of the Living Dead, we're going to throw in history and trivia and stuff like that. Like we've all seen this movie a million times, so we know a lot about it, about the making and behind the scenes. So I'll be talking in, throwing in my 2 cents a lot. So
Definitely.
because I've been to Pittsburgh.
Go for it. So,
And,
not a lot of people know that the movie was written by John A. Russo.
Yep.
When the movie was in its scripting stage, he had developed an idea that was basically described as teenagers from outer space. This version was not filmed, but the version that was filmed uses stock music from the footage, or from the movie Teenagers from Outer Space, which, again, we've covered on this before. So John A. Russo also appears as a zombie who gets killed by Ben with a tire iron. Where it was back there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's a good
Wow.
one. So he basically he said that he was like just hung over the entire morning that they were shooting, which I thought was funny.
So John Russo, he's a filmmaker himself. He hasn't made anything good.
No, I got his list on here. We've covered. I know we've covered Santa Claus, and then, you know what? The best one on here is the Return of the Living Dead. But
He wrote it.
Did he really? Because he's credited as story for it.
Well,
I don't think he actually wrote the screenplay or anything.
no, I don't know if he wrote the screenplay, but he was part of the writing
Yeah, but Mike,
team.
everybody's seen it.
yeah.
Everybody's seen Return of the Living Dead.
He
Whether
gets
you
his
liked it or
credit.
not,
Yeah.
whether you liked it or not, everybody has seen it.
Love that movie. It's probably my favorite zombie comedy of all time. Oh yeah.
I thought it was just so silly, but
He
I
made.
liked it.
I think I mentioned this before. It was Flashback Weekend a couple of years ago. Me and my buddy John Russo was there, and he was showing one of his movies. It's called like Uncle something or Grandpa something, and
Yeah, there's a lot that I didn't put on this list because
Holy
it was
shit,
just
dude.
fucking garbage.
I mean, we sat through 90 minutes of this thing, and we're just like looking at each other like, why are we here watching this? It was so bad.
I
I'm
started
sorry.
watching Santa Claus, and I think I texted Sammy like, look at this title, Sammy. I just couldn't stomach. I couldn't watch
like,
it anymore.
I don't want to be a dick here, but I think like all the good parts of this movie definitely came from George Romero.
Santa Claus, that Debbie Rashan?
Yeah. Yeah, we covered. Remember that was so bad. Johnny Russo's in the beginning. He does the whole exposition as a
he's the cop.
detective. Yeah,
He's the cop.
It's like, so
geez.
get this. Kid finds a fucking 44.
This Pittsburgh accent.
So this Night of the Living Dead was actually selected for the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being cultural, historically, or aesthetically significant. That's a pretty cool one here. This was made one of the most profitable independent movies ever. It made $114,000, which was the equivalent of about $1 million in 2022. Made for approximately $1 million. It made $30 million, which is about $247 million in 2022 money.
I've heard mixed things about this. The reason it is public domain, Romero did not put something on the reel that like copyrights it.
Yeah, like in the credits or something.
And I've heard that him and the cast did not make a lot of money off of this.
No, not at all.
And the night,
mostly like the distributors, I think, made the money.
The night he and I think Russ Striner, who played Johnny, they went to New York with the reels. The night that they were traveling from Pittsburgh to New York was the same night that Martin Luther King was murdered. And they were afraid they were going to...
You saying they killed him?
No. What I'm saying is they were afraid like they were going to encounter riots in New York.
Yeah.
It was a rough ride for them, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a conspiracy. Maybe they killed Martin Luther King.
Are you saying a zombie killed Martin Luther King?
Yeah, they're trying to make him a zombie. George Romero killed Martin Luther King.
Right.
You heard it here first,
folks. Yeah.
Now, I remember the first time I seen this, Mike.
Yeah, tell us. How old were you?
When did it come out? 68?
68.
I was 8.
Wow.
I was 8, and we didn't have color TVs yet, so it was originally black and white TVs. And I watched it on this. I don't know if you remember. My father was an electronic salesman. I was watching it on this little like 9 or 10 inch black and white TV, and my dad was a huge Cubs fan back then.
That's how how we're gonna watch it today.
Yeah, he was watching the Cubs game, and I was in the front of almost the front of the part of the house where the radiators were, because we didn't have central air back then. And I'm watching, I'm like, wow, is this fucking cool?
Mm-hmm.
And it scared the living shit out of me.
I think it scared a lot of people back
But
then.
I told you this in a couple of podcasts before. I remember discussing this with you and Sammy. What freaked me out even more than the movie was at the end when they showed those pictures of them hanging those guys and how many piles of bodies and the dogs. And I thought what was great too was the addition of the news that they were watching. You hear that tick, 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 that typing in the background, and they're saying, shoot him in the head, and what they thought
Destroy
caused
the
this.
brain.
Destroy
You gotta
the brain.
shoot him in the head.
I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
I really did, man.
Well, I think the original title was going to be Night of the Flesh Eaters.
Yes,
Yeah,
I did hear that.
they
Svengoolie said that. The original Svengoolie, he was good for the spoiler alerts.
I mean, that guy's probably the biggest historian of this film.
Yeah.
He shows it on this Svengoolie show probably at least once a year.
Right. He actually was one of the first guys that really analyzed movies, like The Brain That Wouldn't Die. It was actually called The Head That Wouldn't Die.
Yeah.
And it was actually at the end. The Thing with Two Heads. He gave so much more depth to the movies, and it made it interesting for me as a little kid because I'm like, oh, okay, But I remember the one scene where I just, oh my God, I thought I was gonna turn, my stomach was gonna turn when the guy was eating something off the tree. There was something on the tree.
Oh, it was a worm.
Was it a worm?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude.
Or a mouse. It's a mouse. I think it's a mouse.
Was it a mouse? And I was like, oh, dude, that was brutal.
I was first introduced to the film in 90 when Night of the Living Dead 1990 came out, the remake that Tom Savini directed. Joe Bob Briggs had it on the movie channel, and I must have been like 9 or 10 years old. I watched that one first. Then I think I went back and I watched the original, and I like them both. I mean, I love Night 90, but this one is so fucking good, man.
Yeah.
And Tony Todd is in that, or who's? Yeah,
Yeah,
it was in
Tony
the
Todd.
90 one.
Yeah.
He's in Night 90.
Candyman.
Great cast.
Yeah.
I first saw this 1968 in the theater.
Did you?
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen it in the theater, Mike. I would have loved
So
to
that
have
was,
seen this in the theater.
So the U.S. Movie rating system was instituted on November 1st, 1968. This film was released on October 1st, 1968. This is one of the last films released without a U.S. Rating system attached to it. So this is now regarded as a classic. The film attracted considerable criticism at the time for its release, for its use of graphic gore. I don't know if you really say it's graphic nowadays, but I don't know. They kind of
Pretty tame these days, but back then, it was one of a kind. It was original.
Yeah, this was the rating system back then: G, M, R, and X.
But do you dudes think? Do you dudes think that because it was the star they casted a black man to star in it? Do you think he had a little trouble here and there?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You know, I mean, just
Dwayne Jones?
Yeah, because all the assholes, you know, that
There was a lot of stuff at the time
Like I
because people had interpreted it as like a black dude shacking up with a white woman.
yeah.
They said, in the
So,
house.
I mean,
Stupid.
Pay attention to the social commentary that's in this film. Romero was ahead of his time.
Yeah, he was.
So 60s civil rights was going on. He purposefully cast Dwayne, for that role because they wanted to do something different. The black guy is the hero in the film.
That's what it made me laugh pretty recently. There's a new one coming out, I guess, by Romero's daughter or something like that. She
Really?
directed it, but it's like, it has a trans person in it or something. And people are like, this is ridiculous. Why's it got to be woke? And I'm like, everything Romero did was
woke,
quote unquote woke. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
think about it.
I mean, when he hit her, because she was like kind of snapping,
Yeah.
and Dwayne just smacked her.
Give her a crack.
I mean, that was so weirdly enough normal.
No, it was
back
it was
then.
shocking.
That was so normal back then that a husband could slap or use a strap on his wife back then in the 60s,
But a
50s, 60s.
black guy smacking a white woman?
Smacking a white woman. I was like, man, Romero was brutal. I mean, he was out of his time. I'm shocked that they showed that. I'm shocked Romero didn't catch hell for that.
I mean, the movie's got its critics for sure. But
Yeah.
if you go back to 1968, this was shocking at the time. No one's
Yeah.
ever seen a film like this before. So
Right.
that still holds up. It's still a classic.
Yeah.
I say we jump into this.
Yeah, definitely. One more thing here. Just George Romero has admitted that Herc Harvey's Carnival of Souls was a big influence on the making of this film, which is another public domain thing.
I was
We
just
might
gonna
be
say.
doing a little commentary on that soon.
I've only seen this once.
It's a pretty good one. It's creepy. Yeah. Very eerie, I think.
You know, I remember seeing Carnival of Souls, but I don't ever remember it being on Svengoolie.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
I bet it's been on.
I mean, I'm assuming that it was, but I've watched Svengoolie since I was a little kid. I don't ever remember them showing that one
Maybe.
because I liked Carnival of Souls. I thought it was really deep.
Is Carnival of Souls where like they come out of the water?
Yeah.
Okay, I do remember that.
Yeah, the guy with the big like dark circles under his eyes.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so we can get into this right here. I'll just go
right.
ahead and start the movie
Here
off.
we go. Night of the Living Dead. I've been there. My first and only trip to Pittsburgh, I made a stop in Evans City and traveled down this road, went to the Evans City Cemetery, visited the grave that is used in the film, the two graves that are in the film. Actually, on Google Maps, it says Night of the Living Dead grave in the cemetery.
Is it farmland, Mikey?
There's a lot of farms around there. The one thing I regret I didn't see the house. And from the research I did, it's a private house, private road. You can't really see it from
Yeah, I mean, look at it,
a
Mike.
public road.
There's nobody, dude.
There ain't
Nobody.
There ain't much in Evans City. The Living Dead Museum used to be in Evans City, but that's now at the Monroeville Mall, which I visited too. George Costanza, met him. He plays the sheriff. Gary Striner, met him. That's Russ Striner's brother.
Yeah, but listen to the score. That's wrong, buddy. Meaning really good.
I think they had family members, like everyone's family, work on this.
This might have been one of those tracks from Teenagers from Outer Space.
Yeah.
Leighton Image. Pay attention to that. Leighton Image was Romero's film company. The basement of the house that they're in is actually the basement of the Leighton Image in downtown Pittsburgh.
You're kidding.
Because they said that house didn't really have a basement in it.
Right.
It was like just a dugout pit that you had to climb down on a ladder. Like
that was a creepy basement like my parents.
that's the whole reason they were able to film in there, because they were about to tear that house down.
Oh,
and they're like,
is that right?
They're like, oh, we can destroy this house? Like, fuck it. Well,
Carl Hardman, who played, well, let's call him the bad guy in this. I forget the name right now.
The guy that was in the basement?
Yes. And his his name is Marilyn Eastman, I think.
yeah. So this car was actually owned by John, the guy who plays Johnny, Russell
Russ
Striner.
Striner.
Oh, that's his car?
It was his mother's car, I think.
Well, it's 8 o'clock and it's still light.
Judith O'Day. I ripped her off at a
Yeah, I
convention.
remember you told me.
Still got a 3-hour drive back. We're not going to be home until
A lot of the cast is still alive.
Johnny, you wouldn't do it.
You think I want
a lot are dead, of
to
course.
A scene like this? You know, I figure we're either going to have to move Mother out here or move the grave into Pittsburgh.
She can't make a trip like this.
Oh, you know that she can't. Is there any of that candy left?
No.
Look at this thing. We still remember. I don't. You know, I don't even remember what the man looks like.
He was kind of an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
He was kind of an asshole to me.
5 minutes to put the wreath on the grave and 6 hours to drive back and forth. Mother
If you ever get a chance to meet the cast at a convention,
Well, we're
they're
here,
all
Tom,
just
all
the
right.
nicest people.
I like his driving gloves.
Well, yeah, a lot of them didn't really go on to do much either. Like, you know,
No.
like become
I never seen
giant actors.
anybody in this movie outside of
Dwayne
this.
Jones did a couple of things like in the 70s and 80s, but he died kind of young too.
I think he was like a professor before he like did it, you know, even
Dwayne Jones?
before after
I think you're right.
acting.
Yeah, the only one that really went on to success was, of course, George.
With the radio? Must have been the station.
So that house is still there. I have a picture of that.
The first zombie that shows up, Mikey, that dude freaked me out.
So that guy's done some stuff too. That's William Hintzman. And
Excuse me.
what were they? He was at the Chicago Horror Film Fest at the Portage Theater years ago, and he reenacted his zombie walk on stage. It was awesome.
But it was just that he was walking around in a circle. That kind of disturbed me.
I think you complain just to hear yourself talk. There it is.
So I think the tombstone says Blair. Yeah. So I have my picture.
Who are they visiting, Mike? The mother?
Their mom, and I have a picture of me standing next to that tombstone.
Yeah, you had on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Is it their mom or their
I
dad?
wonder what happened to the one from
Mom.
last year.
Mom.
Each year we spend good money on these things. We come out here and the one from last year's gone.
Well, the flowers die, and the caretaker or somebody takes them away.
Yeah,
She's a
little
weird-looking
shit.
woman.
She is the
Clean
most
this up.
well-spoken
Sell it next
American woman I've ever
Wonder how
met.
many
Like
times
she,
we
I think
bought the
she
same one.
speaks professionally, or at least she used to. She's probably retired now, but really well-spoken at the
See,
conventions.
there he goes, Mikey. Put on his driving gloves.
Like his pen's in his pocket.
Hey, come on, Barb. Church was this morning, huh?
I think they said this was actually like the last thing that they filmed too.
Really?
The whole movie, yeah. Man, I'm gonna give me some driving gloves.
Hey, I mean, crayons for church, huh? Come on.
I think a lot of the cast did theater,
Well,
so they were actors.
there's not much sense in my going to church. Do you remember one time when we were small, we were out here? It was from right over there.
And
I jumped out
George would
from
use
behind a tree, and Grandpa got all
cast
excited.
members
He
from
shook
his older
fist at me.
films
He said,
and,
"Boy,
and,
you're
and
the
all of
depths
his stuff.
hell."
Like a lot of the cast, some of the cast from like Night and Dawn are in Night Riders,
To really be scared here.
Johnny,
and in Night 90.
Still afraid.
All right.
stop it now. I mean it.
Here we go.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Love it.
Stop it! You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
you're ignorant.
Stop it!
By Michael Jackson.
You're a child.
Stop
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
Johnny.
William Hintzman, who I think is still with us.
No! 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 Johnny! Help me!
It's a wrestling match with a corpse. That famous shot of her, I took a picture with that tombstone as well. Sweep the leg. Ooh, he
Yeah.
knocked him out. Uh-oh.
Now, am I correct, Mike? Wasn't this movie originally the first one that one of the zombies never bit anybody and they contracted the disease? They never said or showed any of that in this, correct?
I think they say in this it's more of like a satellite. Something
Yeah.
they think it was maybe something from a satellite.
Right.
Yeah.
So no one ever got contact and got bit or blood on them.
I think it was
Well,
more
no,
just that
I
no,
remember.
you don't see it, but the name of the family that's in the basement, their daughter, she is bit and becomes
That's
one,
right.
but you don't
That's
see
right.
her get bit.
That's right. Okay.
And that actress is
Okay.
Kyra Shan.
But they never showed it.
no,
They never showed it.
I feel like it's one of those things where they kind of underthunk it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you think about it, Mikey, I mean, outside of the little girl, they really didn't. It wasn't really like the normal zombie movie where you get bit, you're dead.
yeah, like Dawn.
I'll tell you, this guy did a magnificent job.
Oh, that's my mama's car right there. Johnny's saying.
Look at his toofuses, Sammy.
It's funny, they fucked that car up too. That
Yeah,
Russell
yeah,
Striner's
yeah,
mom's
yeah,
car. Because here they said that the reason why they put the car against the tree here was because someone on set backed into the car and fucked it up. So when you see it against the tree, it's like the actual the damage that's done to the car. Watch.
A tall, thin man. They couldn't have picked a perfect guy to be a zombie, Mike.
Yeah, you see the real damage.
Oh, yeah.
Whoops.
He's kind of running, Mike. He's kind of going against what you believe.
He is not running.
Or is he just going downhill?
He looks like
His corpse is still pretty fresh.
you know who he looks like is Phil Leotardo from The Sopranos.
That's right.
I want my fucking blood.
Oh God. Vincent. What's the actor's name?
Something.
Frank Vincent.
Frank.
It's the house.
And you seen that house, Mike?
No. I've mentioned them before. The Grim Life Collective. They did a whole Pittsburgh episode, and they can only get a picture of the house from afar. They had a really good camera, but it's a private house, private road. But the house is still there.
That house is still there?
Pretty sure. Or maybe it was moved.
You know, this
Never
had to have been a lot of pressure on Judith O'Day. You know, I mean,
Her first film.
You know, Mike, just look at it. It's not nighttime. I told you it's very hard for anybody to be scared when there's light out. You know, and she realistically looks frightened, scared out of her freaking mind.
She did a good job. She gets a little nutty, little baddie.
Yeah,
Later on in the film.
That's when he has to slap her.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because she's like sitting on the couch. She's like reminiscing about her brother. She's like, Johnny, da 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 da. And they're just like, okay, whatever. Crazy lady.
IMDb says she had one short before this.
So okay, I know Carl Harmon is the bad guy. What's his name in the film?
Harry Cooper.
Cooper. Okay. So interesting fact here. Harry Cooper's daughter, played by Kyra Shan, is the little girl. Romero purists will say growing up in the 70s and 80s, everyone that was a horror fan or loved this film, they all wanted to date her. And because she was like the first living dead girl, you know. And,
Living Dead.
Right.
Cue the Rob Zombie song right here.
and she, you know, she isn't still an attractive woman, the youngest person in this cast. Taxidermy. Let me in. Fuck this pole. If you'd like to make a call. I've never heard a phone do that before.
I never heard it either.
Suddenly it's nighttime.
I'll tell you, he
Back to-
that creeps me out, dude. He's a creepy dude.
Good makeup. Interesting fact. Savini was in high school, and Romero came to his school looking for makeup artists. Tom was going to do it, but he got shipped off to Vietnam. And when he came back, he hooked up with George. And I don't know the first film he worked on with George. It could have been Martin, but definitely Dawn.
You know how graphic that must have been in the 60s?
Right.
I think that was a ping pong ball in the eye. Like they said that was like. And I think George Romero made that doll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here comes Ben. Got his tire iron. Gonna whip some ass. Also, they never say the word zombie in this film.
Yeah.
It's all right.
They call them those things or ghouls.
Mike, when
You know what they said though in the Netflix when this was released on Netflix and all the subtitles say zombies in it.
Oh,
Which
really?
I'm like, fucking Netflix, dude, cancel your.
This is on
subscription.
Netflix?
In like other countries and stuff, you know.
What are you saying, so?
You know what would you and Sammy do if this happened and you entered a house? Would you go up or down? Because you figure if you go upstairs and these fuckers come up here, you gonna jump out a fucking window, or do you go downstairs where it's more secure and there's really no way to get in or out, but you got to stay there?
Upstairs,
you know,
because I could
what's-
throw them out the window.
That's,
you know what? Yeah, I mean,
that's the issue they face in this film.
yeah,
Cooper thinks it's safe in the basement,
yeah,
but there's no exit.
yeah, and there's nowhere to see if they're there or not. You know what I mean? I mean, there could be one in there, there could be three in there.
Like in Night 90, when the house gets overtaken, he's in the basement. You just hear all these people, all this
Yeah,
noise
yeah.
upstairs.
Yeah.
We've got to get out of here. We have to get to where there's some other people. Maybe we better take some food. I'll see if I can find some food.
I think Dwayne Jones passed in the early 90s, maybe late 80s. And he was in a vampire film called Ganja and Hess
Yes, good movie.
from like 73.
Yeah.
A vampire film, I think.
Might have talked about that on our vampire episode.
No, see, I don't remember that part where the blood came down on her.
This might have been this version of it is like
I was
a
gonna say,
like
I
a
don't remember
restored
the
version, but I
original,
don't think
yeah.
there's any deleted scenes in it really.
Yeah.
I think it was just kind of cleaned up to look nicer.
This movie has been remade, reimagined, and just fucking worked on and cut to shreds.
I think I saw there was something of like 230 or 250 different like
Versions of
DVDs
it?
and
Yeah.
Blu-rays of it. It's not like really versions of the movie, but just like different distributors that have put it out because anybody can.
Yes.
I had the DVD. Svengoolie put it out, and it was all green. It was all the whole movie was green.
Now,
I can make it green if you want.
why do you think he smashed the headlight?
What?
Why do you think he smashed the headlight?
Not sure. Probably because he could.
Them out there. Have you seen any more around here?
He's just raging.
Maybe he just didn't like the lights.
I know you're afraid, but we have
I
to.
don't know! I don't know! What's happening?
Yeah, he doesn't like the light.
I think George explained it best why the zombies don't run. They are corpses that have come to life. So depending on how fresh the corpse is, they can't, let's say it's a rotting corpse, they can't run. Their bones, their tendons would break. There's John Russo. I mean,
Yeah, but my thing is, like, so many of them, they come out of the grave. How do they lift all that dirt off their casket, let alone get out of the fucking ground?
again, depends on how fresh and strong the corpse is.
There's just a bunch of skeletons down in some
Yeah,
of those
I mean,
things.
right. You know which zombies I always found like just like disturbing, really gross looking? Thriller.
Yeah, because all that gook is coming out of their mouths and eyes and...
What's his name? Rick
Rick Baker?
Rick Baker, man. Fantastic makeup.
He's a cool cat, man. He's like, this is for Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's right. This is for the Uncle Whatever movie.
Now, the way I understood this through all the earlier zombie movies, they were very weak. They were very weak zombies. Now, in the newer zombie movies, they're cock strong.
Yeah. That's because they're not zombies, they're infected people.
Here it goes again, Sandy.
Yep.
Oh, he got that sucker good.
Yeah, those people couldn't have all been people that came back from the grave. That one guy, would they
that
bury
shirt
him in
off.
his
Yeah, he
fucking
had a
robe?
shirt, Yeah.
I know we're in here now.
You think you'd freak out, Mikey, like she did?
Sure.
That's what I wonder about. You ever hear anything about, like, you know, like recent ghosts? Like this guy died in the 90s. Like you see him now every night you go to bed, you see him in the corner, but he's wearing a fucking Bulls jersey or some shit like that. Like,
Now, did you guys see that? He was dead and his eyes were still moving.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake.
Was that a mistake?
Maybe, yeah.
There's no fucking way I would go out there. No fucking way.
I just probably wouldn't have lit somebody on fire, like on the porch of the house.
Yeah, right?
Drag him out a little farther, dude.
Fire bad.
You didn't think of the smell, you bitch.
but when the two teenagers burn up in the truck, somebody had mentioned that the zombies liked it because it was cooked. I can't. I want to say it was Svengoolie that said that.
Barbecue. We're getting a little ahead of
smart ass
ourselves.
Said that.
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Get some more lights on in this house.
One cool thing about this, though, is I think like there was like a lot of people that helped with the makeup effects. Like I know Marilyn Eastman and who's it? The guy who plays Harry Cooper,
Carl Hardman.
Carl Harmon.
I like that they didn't make it easy for him. You know, he had to search for every fucking thing he needed, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just there, just like in most movies.
Well, this movie plays on your emotions. Like,
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like isolation. You're trapped in this house.
Yeah.
Afraid to.
And you have to survive.
But we have to try to board the house up.
And you were strangers.
I'm going to board up the windows and the doors. Do you understand? We'll be all right here. We'll be all right here until someone comes around.
And she's had half
We'll have to work
catatonic.
Yeah.
Now I want you to go in and get some wood so I can board the place up. Do you understand? Okay? Okay?
Uh-huh. He's a little daffy.
You know what? I think people maybe didn't mind like him slapping her around a little bit because at that point, I think we all want to slap her around. We're like, she does get a little annoying there. Her character, you know.
Well, you know, I mean,
she's like kind of catatonic, you know, from.
You know, you got to be angry, number one, and desperate, and you don't want to hear all this shit. So I guess that triggered him to just smack her. But if you notice, a lot of movies they did that to get people out of freaking out to slap a Mikey.
Freak out.
You know.
Says she. She's in shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we just found a random door in the kitchen there. And the ironing board.
I say what you want about that, Mike, but I thought that was pretty fucking cool that he used the ironing board as something to nail against the door.
Did I ever tell you, many years ago, I went to a musical in a north side of Chicago, small theater that held probably 20 people, very intimate, and I saw a musical of the Living Dead.
You did?
And when I first walked in, they offered me a poncho. They're like, "Where are you sitting?" I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna sit in the front row."
Oh, you
like,
did tell us this.
They're like,
yeah.
do you want a poncho?" I'm like, "No."
You're gonna need it.
Mistake.
Yeah.
They poured blood all over me, dude. All over my shoes, inside my socks. I was covered with this shit. But it was so fucking awesome, this musical. They did Night of the Living Dead, but in a musical. So they're singing silly songs, and the cast signed a poster for me. I got it framed in my basement.
Was it like the Japanese style where like they fucking spray blood all over?
Dude,
or,
yes,
like,
yes. Like they had a pump, and they were just spraying the whole audience.
he's like, no, Gallagher came out with a watermelon filled with blood.
Right. I mean, I walked out there drenched. I was like, what the fuck? Did I pay for this? They offered me a poncho.
Not that strong. Yeah, I want you to pick out some nails. Pick out the biggest ones you can find. There, this room looks pretty secure. If we have to, we can run in here and board up the doors. Won't be long for those things to be back pounding their way in here. They're afraid now.
This was they released like the cool like a cool soundtrack for this, like with some of the isolated audio from Waxwork Records not too long ago.
Waxwork, great company. Yeah. They do all the scores.
I have that one over there. Yeah, it's just
them and Terror Vision.
Yeah.
Now see what she's leaning on, Mike? That's like the radiators we had, but I don't know what's going on in this house. You couldn't just touch those things. Those things were freaking hot. So we had the ones that had the covers. I've never seen a bare radiator like that before.
I have.
Have you?
My buddy's old apartment in Hyde Park. He had an old radiator, and yeah, that thing was hot as hell.
Listen to it. When a big gasoline truck came screaming right across the road, but there must have been 10, 15 of those things.
See, he's fucking smart. I love the way he used the legs as torches, and he knew they were so fucking heavy and solid that you could smack somebody with it too. That's awesome.
He's got survival instincts.
I could just see that the truck was moving in a funny way. And those things were catching up to it. The truck went right across the road. Slammed on my brakes to keep from hitting it myself. It went right through the guardrail. I guess the driver must have cut off the road into that gas station by Beekman's Diner. It went right through the billboard, ripped over a gas pump, and never
I think that they make a video game of this not too long ago too.
Of Night? Oh, I don't know.
I think there might have been.
Didn't know if the truck was going to explode or what. Still hear the man screaming. This thing is just backing away from it.
You hear the crickets?
Yeah, to make sure that you know it's night.
I looked back at the
I like
diner
that.
to see if there was anyone
It's good
there.
sound design for back then.
Mm-hmm.
It was when I noticed that the entire place had been encircled. Wasn't a sign of
You could hear
life
something
there.
in the background, like maybe it's the camera.
Yeah, it's like that, like the film kind of
By
noise.
now
I
there were
hear.
no more screams. I realized that I was alone with 50 or 60 of those things just standing there.
Yeah, it's one of those things you don't really think about. Like back in the day, like the film was,
Yeah.
running through the camera like that. You had to cancel that out somehow.
I think because it is in black and white, it also adds to the creepiness.
I've always told you that. But you got to remember, like the boom operators and everybody, man, they had to hold that fucking shit for fucking hours, man. Push those cameras.
I've done that.
back and forth. Yeah, I know you've done that.
I've done some boom work.
But see, you take this kind of situation, Mike, that's so catastrophic. Would you be mad? Would you have anger issues? Would you freak out like her? Would you be like the young people downstairs where they're, hey man, let's just get the fuck out of here. I don't care what we got to do, because those young people really kept their heads on straight. The young couple.
Just thinking that, like these zombie movies, like Night of the Living Dead or Day of the Dead, they're great for the scenarios of
Yeah.
like what would I do in those situations.
Yeah.
Get a big
You know, Mike.
big fortress like them all.
I don't think I'd freak, but I wouldn't want to be kept in a house. I'd have to be out in the open, man. I'd have to find like a fenced in
corner place.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Too many doors.
Oh, it's hot in here.
See, like she's getting claustrophobic.
And he said, "Oh, it's late. Why did we start so late?" And I said, "Johnny, if you'd gotten up earlier, we wouldn't be late." Johnny asked me if I were afraid. And I said,
You could see him
"I'm not
contemplating
afraid,
giving her a
Johnny."
fresh one right here.
See, that's what I was thinking. I mean, you figure everybody else is dead. Why not? I would just tell her to shut up and let's start going at it.
Slowly. And Johnny kept teasing me and saying, "He's coming to get you, Barbara." And I laughed at him and said, "Johnny, stop it." And then Johnny ran away.
Gonna smack her with the fucking table.
Get a table! Devon,
Devon,
get the table!
What's that?
And he grabbed me. He grabbed me.
You ever do that? You've seen a movie like 100 times when you're still like, is he?
Oh, I screamed, "Johnny! Johnny, help me! Oh, help me!"
I'd have to hit her with a hammer. I couldn't handle a person like that with me.
Oh, he ripped. And then Johnny came and he ran and he fought this man. And I got so afraid. I
Ran so
So
far
far
away. We are nerds.
We have to wait for Johnny.
That was cool, though, the way they made her brother come in and attack the house, too. That was cool.
Get him. We have to go out and get Johnny. He's out there. Please, don't you hear me? We've got to go out and get him.
Fuck that noise.
Please, we have got to go get Johnny. Please help me. Please.
Don't you know what's going on out Sunday school picnic.
Don't you understand? My brother is alone.
Your brother is dead.
No! My brother is not dead.
Woohoo! That wasn't a slap. That was a right cross.
That was a close
That was
fist.
a right cross, man.
I
And
don't remember
she's
her.
out.
I don't remember her hitting him first.
That was the 5-knuckle shuffle right there.
He knocked the shit out of her.
Jesus Christ, dude.
What the fuck?
Edit. What the fuck, Sal? Sam, you're going to have to cut that one out.
I can't without cutting the. I gotta just put a fucking.
Jeez.
I put a lock
Technical
over.
difficulty. Give
Mike,
him the X.
Mike,
Give him the X.
I can do
Mike,
it.
see the radio? See that radio? That's how big my father had one like almost that same size in the basement, and I would go listen to it downstairs.
Old school.
Yes.
Which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air.
Do you guys know that George is in
This
this?
station and hundreds of other radio
I had heard that, but where was he?
He plays a reporter. When wants to get the TV going.
Through an emergency network hookup to keep you informed of all developments. At this hour, we repeat, these are the facts as we know them.
Now don't forget the people are in the basement. They don't hear all this hammering going on.
Army of unidentified assassins.
They do.
I think they were just trying to
Yeah,
stay
they
low
just
key.
figure, well,
They
we're not
think
going to go
it's-
up there.
They think it's a zombie.
No apparent pattern or reason for the slayings. It seems to be a sudden general explosion of mass homicide. We have some descriptions of the assassins.
He's like, that zombie's beating up women and doing house repairs.
Say they appear to be in a
And slapping bitches.
I swear, you're going to get us canceled, man.
At this point,
Who?
there is no
You.
authentic
Why?
to say who or what
Do I have to remind you what you just said?
monsters. Reaction of law enforcement officials is one of complete bewilderment at this hour. So far, we have been unable to determine that any kind of organized investigation is yet underway.
Burn it up.
Police, sheriff's deputies, and emergency
Now, I don't think a zombie's got to climb up to the chimney and work his way down there.
scene can best be described
He'd have to be pretty small anyway to fit in there.
Philadelphia and Miami, along with the governors of certain
John Russo's been obsessed with killing Santa Claus his whole life, I guess. That's why
that has not happened as yet. The only advice our reporters have been able to get from official sources is for private citizens to stay in their homes.
I think you got enough on there.
Do not venture outside for any reason until the nature of this crisis.
I like that he chooses like the biggest fucking thing in the room too, like a half a couch. I'm like, I throw my back out trying to throw it out the door.
Fucking lazy boy.
That's when you get Lou to take it out. They close the door behind Lou.
Not to make any attempt to get to their homes. However, in spite of this urging and warning, streets and highways are packed with frantic people trying to reach their families or apparently to flee just anywhere. We repeat, the safest course of action at this time is simply to stay where you are.
Fire bad. Fire burn.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've just received word that the president...
I like the table is just nailed there.
a sudden epidemic of murder which has seized the eastern third of this nation. The meeting is scheduled to convene within the hour. Members of the presidential cabinet will be joined by officials of the FBI and the joint chiefs behind closed doors. The White House spokesman, in announcing this conference, says there will be an official announcement...
I feel like sometimes you get a little extra out of a movie when you watch it with subtitles on it. Like, even if it's in English, you know, just reading it.
Latest word also from National Press Services in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, but you can't get out now. I mean, eventually you got to have something to drink. You got to have something to eat.
Include high-ranking scientists from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. That's the extent of this latest bulletin.
Well, this guy was saying he saw 15 of them chase after a semi-truck, so he knows they can get through the door if they wanted to.
All radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country, including one to which you're
Ben's a survivor.
I Sammy, I like the way you got the logo in the corner.
bring you this news as it develops. We urge you to stay tuned to radio and TV.
the last three rows of horror channel.
I love it.
Late reports reaching this newsroom.
We should come up with a Roku channel. We can do that, you know. It's kind of like what you're doing with Plex.
Demanding
All right.
shelter and protection from the wholesale murder, which apparently is engulfing much of the nation.
24/7. Last Three Rows of Horror.
Yeah. Our fans could watch what we watch.
He's getting exhausted. Oh. And he's lighting up a cigarette. I just gave up cigar, Sammy.
I know, you pussy. You couldn't do 9 a day, so you had to give it up. He could only smoke 8 in a day. That's it.
Here's some shoes for you.
Are you listening to the radio, Sammy?
Yeah.
I never really gave much thought to that, but man, they were tearing people apart.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, this film was just so ahead of its time with the violence that you didn't see.
And some bullets out there.
It was only late yesterday when it first became clear we were facing some kind of national emergency. When first reports began filtering in, newsmen and law
Sorry about that, right cross.
This place is boarded up pretty solid now. We ought to be all right here for a while. We have the gun and bullets, food and the radio. Sooner or later, someone bound to come and get us out. Hey, that's us. We're doing all right.
Cautious of any suspicious strangers, and keep tuned to your radio and television for survival instructions and further details of this continuing story.
Look, I don't know if you're hearing me, but I'm going upstairs now. If anything should try to break in here, I can hear it from up there. I'll be down to take care of it. Everything is all right for now. I'll be back to reinforce the windows and doors later. But you'll be all right for now, okay?
Should put her ass to work.
Okay.
Start nailing up those. What? No. That's it. You better start nailing those doors before I nail you.
Now, see, the first thing I would have done was getting rid of that body. I would have threw that body out the window on fire. But look at the blood, Mike.
I see it.
I mean, you gotta think somebody, pounded her against the wall to kill her or something like that. And how did her face become, just a skull?
I don't know who played the dead lady.
Wait a minute. Did you just see that? Her face was all there. Wasn't the person at the top of the stairs just a skull?
Yeah, in the beginning they showed it. Kind of face was all fucked up. Yeah.
Were killing and eating their victims prompted authorities to examine the bodies of some of the victims. Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh
It's a zenith.
of the people they murdered. Repeating this latest bulletin just received moments ago from Cumberland, Maryland, civil defense authorities have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been
So I forget
devoured
one
by
of the
their murderers.
sequels or remakes they did of this. When she gets taken in the sequel, they kind of have like a backstory for Barbara. She escapes.
Yeah, I think that wasn't that in the 90 one too?
No. Well, she survives in night 90, but in this other one that they did in 2000 whatever, she gets pulled out by the zombies, but then she survives.
I thought in this one she gets pulled out and gets eaten.
Well, you assume she dies. You don't see her after they take her.
Hold it! Don't shoot! We're from town. A radio.
County, Pennsylvania. The Butler County Sheriff has verified that reports of murder victims being partially eaten by their slayers is true. No further details available at this time. However,
How long you guys been here? I could use some help up here.
That's the cellar. It's the safest place.
You mean you didn't hear the racket we were making up here?
How are we supposed to know what was going on? Could have been those things for all we knew.
That girl was screaming. Sure, you must know what a girl screaming sounds like. Those things don't make any noise. Anybody would know somebody ever needed help.
Look, it's kind of hard to hear what's going on from down there.
We thought we could hear.
Should have called him a motherfucker.
All we knew was that
Motherfucker.
those things were in the house afterward.
And you wouldn't come up and help.
Couldn't you see like Sam L doing this part?
Racket sounded like the place was being
That part,
ripped apart. How
this
were
guy
we
kind of
supposed
looks
to
like
know
Rob
what's going
Corddry a
on?
little bit.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
You just got finished saying you couldn't hear from them.
But Tom Towles did a great job in Night 90
Oh yeah.
as
It would be
Cooper.
nice if you get your story straight.
He was such an
All
asshole.
right, now you tell me. I'm not going to take that kind of a chance when we got a safe place. We luck into a safe place, and you're telling us we got to risk our lives just because somebody might need help, huh?
Yeah,
What an asshole.
Why don't you settle this?
Look, mister, we came up. Okay, we're here. Now I suggest
He's like another one of those guys who's like you realize he's a good actor because you really fucking hate him.
Yeah. He's doing his job.
Yeah. No, I think everybody did theater.
I'll be the few spots up.
And George knew people that did theater, so he cast them.
Insane. The cellar's the safest place.
I'm telling you, they can't get in here.
And I'm telling you, those things turned over our car. We were damn lucky to get away at all. Now you tell me those things can't get through this lousy pile of wood?
His wife and kids downstairs. The kid's hurt.
I forgot they turned over his car.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, they're supposed to be like decaying and
'cause
stuff,
I
but they're
just told
cock
Mike-
strong.
Yeah, I just told Mike. Some of them they're cock strong, and this one supposedly they're not that strong.
Well, think of it. Your motor function, when your brain is dead, you have no control over your motor function. So you could lift a bus. You know?
These things out, huh?
I told you those things don't have any strength. I smashed 3 of them and pushed another one out the door.
Did you hear me when I told you they turned over our car?
See, Mike. Who do you believe?
That's my point.
Right.
Only there's not going to be 5 or even 10. There's going to be 20, 30, maybe 100 of those.
Maybe
things.
that's why,
And
Sammy,
as soon
because
as
there
they
was
know we're
like
here, this place is gonna
a
be
bunch of
clogged.
them.
Well, if there are that many, they'll probably
He did all
wherever we go.
light as a feather,
Light as a
stuff as a
feather.
board.
The cellar, there's only one door. Just one door, that's all we have to protect. Tom and I fixed it so it locks and boards from the inside. But up here, all these windows, why, we'd never know where they were going to hit us next. You
See,
got a
Mike,
point.
that's what worries me.
But down in
You
the
can't
cellar,
see
there's no place
shit.
to run to.
You don't know if they're
I mean,
gone.
if they did
You don't
leave,
know if there's 100 out there.
We'd be done for. We can get out of here if we have to. And we got
Because
witnesses
now
to see
what?
what's
There's a
going on
total of
outside. But
the
down
wife
there
and
with no
husband,
windows,
the
the
young
rest of the
couple,
party
that's
did come,
4,
wouldn't even know it.
6.
The strongest
So there's
fight.
6 people total in the house, right? Counting the daughter to 7.
7.
7.
Yeah. But the daughter's
Down
dead.
there,
No.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Well, I mean, not yet, but
Her only line in the movie is, I hurt.
I'm going back down to the cellar. You better
It is. Come on, I've seen this 100 times, dude.
I'm not going to unlock it again. no matter
Don't you think I know?
I know, but she got bit by a zombie, dude.
Yeah. She
I
goes,
made my
Mama,
decision,
I
I'm going
hurt.
with yours.
Now wait a minute. Let's think about this. We can make it to the cellar if we have to. And if we do decide to stay down there, we'll need some things from up here. So let's at least.
So I'm
consider
sure
this
you've
a
seen
while.
different like posters of the film where it's just a close up of the zombie girl's face. That's Kyra Shan.
Things
Yeah.
in the house, you've had it. At least up here, you have a fighting chance.
Yeah, it looks like about 8 or 10 out there now.
There's more than there were. There are a lot out back, too.
So far, the best advice there is.
Nice.
I think that was made out of like clay.
Probably.
Yeah. Play-Doh.
Just fire, dude.
Oh. Headshots only.
Gotta shoot. That's one of my favorite parts of the remake that they made in like the 2000s, where it was like Tom Savini was the
Yeah.
sheriff. Like, you gotta shoot him in the head.
What did they
He's
call him?
like, we got a fucking twitcher,
Twitcher,
over there.
Twitcher, yeah.
Look at that woman. She's a twitcher.
A lot of people don't know, in Night 90, the sheriff at the end was Russell Streiner.
That's so fucking creepy, man.
There's your nudity, Sal.
Ass is naked.
Oh, and they show titties too. Oh.
Yeah, there's shit. Isn't she?
That's Marilyn Eastman with makeup.
She's eating the worm, Mike, or the bug?
Yeah.
We gotta fix these boards.
You're crazy. Those things are going to be in every window and door in this place. We've got to get down into the cellar.
Go down in your damn cellar. Get out of here!
Motherfucker.
That'd be you, Sammy. Get the fuck.
Keep your hands off it. And everything else is up here too.
So I don't know if it was intentional, but there's an ironic thing where they both like die in the opposite way. Like, you know, like he doesn't want to go down into the cellar, but at the end of the movie, he's forced down into the cellar. And like, you know, Marilyn Eastman like wants to get out of the cellar, but the husband makes her stay down there, and then the child ends up killing her, which is like, she would have been able to get out of there if she would have.
Yeah.
She can't possibly. I couldn't bring her up here. She can't possibly take all the racket and those things smashing through the windows.
Well, you're her father. If you're stupid enough to go die in that trap, I am not stupid enough to follow you. It is tough for the kid that old man is so stupid.
Damn.
Now, you get the hell down in the cellar. You can be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
Ooh, boy. Ooh. It's all types of sass.
You know, I won't open this door again. I mean it.
Mr. Cooper, with your help, we could...
With my help.
Let him go, man. His mind is made up. Just let him go.
Wait a minute. Judy, come on up here, honey.
Now she's still alive. Judith.
Let them get her too.
Or was it something Riley?
All right, honey. Go ahead.
I'll have to look that one up on IMDb. I think her last name's Riley.
Ridley.
She's still alive.
If we stick together, man, we can fix it up real good. There's lots of places we can run to up here. Mr. Cooper, we'd all be a lot better off if all three
See,
of us were
he's
working
keeping kind of cool, the young couple.
Hey. Hey, kid. He's wrong, you know. I'm not boxing myself in down there.
This radio station will remain on the air day and night.
Well, we're safe now. It's boarded up tight.
What about Tom and Judy?
They want to stay up there, let them.
But there's no food or water down here.
Right.
I mean, maybe water with the sink, Mike, but that's about it.
Two other
The old house.
a man and a girl.
We heard you screaming.
Oh, there is a sink there.
Yeah, but I
So
didn't know
this
who they were, and I
basement
wasn't about to take
It's
any
not in the
unnecessary
house. This
chances.
basement is in the basement of the Latent Image building in downtown Pittsburgh. It's no longer called the Latent Image building. I don't know what it is now, an office, but I saw the exterior and I took a picture of the exterior. I did not go inside. The office was also used for parts of Dawn of the Dead.
She feels warm. Maybe it's shock.
Certain scenes were
Where'd you
filmed
get the
there.
bandage?
Some
I think in the beginning of Dawn, when the police are raiding that apartment complex, that was shot at the office with Latent Image.
Oh, cool.
Let them stay upstairs.
Like the parts on the roof with the snipers and everything.
Too many ways those monsters can get in up there. We'll see who's right. We'll see when they come begging me to let them in down here.
That's important, isn't it?
What?
To be right, everybody else to be wrong.
What do you mean by that?
Means you're an asshole.
Does anyone up there know why we're being attacked?
Whatever it isn't just happening here. It's some kind of mass murder. It's going on everywhere. The radio said to stay inside.
Radio?
Radio upstairs. I heard a news bulletin.
There's a radio upstairs and you boarded us in down here?
I know what I'm doing.
Motherfucker!
See? Now your wife's against you. Your kid is dying.
Oh, this guy's
Ain't gonna
fucked.
stab you.
People are supposed to look for a safe place to hide.
Take the boards off that door.
We are staying down here, Helen.
Harry, that radio is at least some kind
Bitch, I'm
of
gonna look like such an asshole if I go ask for the boards to be taken.
Hey guys, can we come back upstairs?
But you know what though? Even in the '60s, I don't ever remember seeing a basement without windows.
It's an old farmhouse, man. Well,
I mean, think about it, Mike. Have you ever seen any?
We may not enjoy living
Sure.
together,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
but dying together isn't going to solve anything. Those people aren't our enemies.
Mr. Cooper, Ben found a television set upstairs.
Let's go up. Tom?
Yeah.
If Judy would come downstairs for a few minutes.
I think they said
Harry
that
and I
abrupt,
would come
like,
upstairs.
cut right there was from, like, there was supposed to be, like, another 8-minute scene in there that, like, explained how more zombies came to the farm or something.
Do I have to?
Look, honey, nothing's gonna get done with them down there and us up here. Do this for me.
Okay.
Okay, open up.
That door looks so flimsy.
That's how stupid that dude is.
Yeah.
Ever say what was wrong with her? She got bit.
She got bit.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, they say it in Night 90. I don't know about this one.
She's all I have. Why don't you go upstairs?
I think she does say one of those things bit her. Is that a bandage on her arm, Mike?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they say that, Sammy. That one of those things bit her.
Oh, yeah, that does kind of what it looked like on the arm.
Mm-hmm.
What's he got on his head? It's like a big
bruise.
That's what made me think of Rob Corddry, because I thought it was like, you ever seen,
Yeah.
what is it, The Heartbreak Kid? Where he grows out, like, the front portion of his bald head.
I gotta go help Ben with the television.
Forgot he was in that. He's the best. He's the best in Hot Tub Time Machine, man. Or their One Harold and Kumar sequel.
It's like, how would I kill myself? Boom! Shotgun to the dick.
It's a doily. Everyone's got their soft pack. Bitch has lost her mind.
Don't be afraid of me. I'm Helen Cooper, Harry's wife.
This place is ridiculous. Look at this. There's a million weak spots up here. Give me one of those.
He's such an asshole.
Her brother was
Did you call the
killed.
dude from Friday the 13th like a magnificent asshole? He's like, thanks?
What did he sign? Takes one to know one.
There could be 15 million of those things out there. That's how much good these windows are.
I mean, in one way, he's right, but you don't have to be an asshole about it.
Why don't you do something to help somebody?
You never know who you're gonna meet at these cons, man.
Here I have it. Drag a couple of those.
Tell you what, though, I kind of want a cigarette after watching this movie.
Be like Bart, where you stare at the Virginia Slim sign for hours. It's like, I want some lady cigarettes.
What's going on?
I don't. You know what, Sam? I want to say when my mother was going by my father's back smoking, Mikey, I don't think they had the general surgeon warning yet on the cigarettes.
Surgeon General's
so
warning.
it seemed like a pretty new
warning.
thing.
I don't think right now, in '68, they had it yet.
So the news anchor, I think that guy's name is Charles Craig. He made it out to a Flashback Weekend once. I don't know if I said this yet, but one year at Flashback Weekend, the entire cast was there, including the sheriff, and they played the movie with the cast, and we got to all sit together in a room and watch it together. That was fun. And George was there, and Everybody gave him a standing ovation. And
Descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted. Medical examinations of some of the victims bore out the fact that they had been partially developed.
I think this guy was a real news anchor.
I think we have some late word just arriving, and I'll interrupt to bring this to you. This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters.
I think this is where they say kind of what they think it is.
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. A widespread investigation of reports from funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals has concluded that the unburied dead are coming back to life and seeking human victims. It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact.
See, he said unburied. So this was the first one where they weren't coming out of the ground yet.
People to stay inside, behind locked doors for safety. Well, that situation has now changed. We're able to report a definite course of action for you. Civil defense machinery has been organized to provide rescue stations with food, shelter, medical treatment, and protection by armed National Guardsmen. Stay tuned to the broadcasting stations in your local area for this list of rescue stations. This list will be repeated throughout our news coverage. Look for the name of the rescue station nearest you and make your way to that location as soon as possible.
So we have that truck. If we can get some gas, we can get out of here.
There's a pump out by the shed.
I know, that's why I pulled in here,
So
but it's locked.
later on, when you see George as like a reporter, and him and another guy are following like a governor or some politician, and they're trying to interview him as they're like walking. The other guy next to Romero is a guy named Bill Cardile, and you know how we have Sven Gulli in Chicago.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh, they had Chili Billy, and he was a horror host. Bill Cardile's daughter Lori.
This is where they were talking about the satellite. Sorry to cut you off, but
that's okay.
Space vehicle which orbited Venus and then was purposely destroyed.
something, yeah, it circled around Venus and
Yeah.
came back.
It was carrying a mysterious high-level radiation with it.
There you go.
Could that radiation be somehow responsible for the wholesale murders we're now suffering? Newsman Don Quinn in Washington has posed those
It's
questions.
obvious our best
Oh, sorry, I had to interrupt you. What were you saying?
That's all right. So, Chili Billy, Bill Cardile, there he is. So there's George on the left, and Bill Cardile is one of these other guys. His daughter Lori is the star of Day of the Dead.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys knew that.
didn't know that.
There was maybe one other zombie movie that I remember where they actually showed the comet hitting, and then it woke up all the dead.
Is that Night of the Comet where it went by?
No, not that. No, it wasn't not Night of the Comet.
That wasn't really a zombie thing, though, was it?
The Night of the Comet, no, because they could
They're kind of like
think-
mutations.
Yeah, they could think and
Yeah.
talk up to a certain point. Yeah.
I didn't like that movie.
Night of the Comet?
No,
Come on,
I think it's fun.
Mike.
did not get into it.
You heathen.
I don't know. I like Fred Decker, Monster Squad, but Night of the Comet. I think, yeah, that's what the one with Mary Catherine Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who likes
Kelly, what's her
John
name?
likes her?
Maroney?
Mike?
Yeah,
Doesn't John like her?
he does. He loves that film.
Yes. Later this afternoon.
Look at that. Look at how cool is that suicide door.
There will be a report this afternoon. Perhaps there will be a report. A later report. Will you close the window? We are doing everything possible.
But they never say in this film, Sammy, that it was the space
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
that did it.
Further explanation of this.
So yeah, they had some samples that were radiated from Venus that could have escaped, and
Supplies. If we could get Karen there, we could get help for her.
Is one of the world's foremost authorities
Karen, that's the little girl.
space science and technology.
Willard. I saw a sign that said Willard.
Any moment.
It's only about 17 miles from here.
You know this area. You from around here?
Judy and I are both from around here. We were on our way up to the lake to go swimming, and Judy had a radio, and we heard the first reports about this. So we knew the old house was here, and we came in and found the lady upstairs dead. Then these other people came. We went down into the basement and put a bar across the door, and it is pretty strong.
How could we possibly get away from here? We've got a sick child, 2 women, 1 woman out of her head, 3 men, and the place is surrounded with these things.
The kid's sick already and gonna die. I would throw her out and then run. Wouldn't you, Mikey? I mean, the kid's dead already. Fuck her.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
your children you'd do that with?
Yeah.
Yes, we have
some answers. But first, let me stress the importance of seeking.
It's like you don't got to be the fastest. You just got to be faster than the person.
We don't know yet what complications might result from such injuries.
How bad has your kid been hurt?
Even the way he said that sounded like, motherfucker, how long's that goddamn kid been hurt?
You go down there and tell, Judy? Yeah, you tell Judy to come up here and you stay with the kid, all right?
In the cold room at the university, we had a cadaver from which all 4 limbs had been amputated. Sometime early this morning, it opened its eyes and began to move its trunk. It was dead, but it opened its eyes and tried to move.
They want you upstairs.
Yeah.
Did she ask for me?
It's a bandage.
She hasn't said anything. I don't understand. Baby. It's Mommy.
I heard.
I'll come back down as soon as I
See, I told you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Judy.
The body should be disposed of at once, preferably by cremation.
Well, how long after death, then, does the body become reactivated?
It's only a matter of minutes.
Minutes? Well, that doesn't give people time to make any arrangements.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't give them time to make funeral arrangements. The bodies must be carried to the street and burned. They must be burned immediately. Soak them with gasoline and burn them.
This guy's got...
What's that?
He's got like no human feeling. Just burn him.
Just burn them.
It's like, that was my wife a minute ago. It's like, soak them in gasoline and burn her.
Forget the comforts of a funeral.
Don't get all sentimental trying to get your wedding ring off her finger. Soak it in gasoline and shoot her in the head.
We can toss the cocktails from a window upstairs. Meantime, a couple of us can go out and try to get the gas and come back for the rest of the people.
But that'll leave a door open someplace.
Yeah, that's right. It better be this door. It's closer
That
to the
sentimentality always gets you killed in zombie movies.
supplies behind the cellar door. While we're gone, the rest of you can hold up in there.
Like the dude from Modern Family in Day of the Dead, or
Dawn.
Dawn of the Dead, and he left Mike. He left his post. I would have kicked his ass right into that dude.
No sweat.
No, I'm talking about like you fight your wife off or something. And you're like, you see a picture, like that was a fun vacation, and then she jumps into your arm. You're like, ah!
You can go upstairs and toss the cocktails from a window. Tom, you and I will have to unboard this door. After you toss the
You know what zombie
cocktails,
movie I really, really enjoyed? Which one was the one with Leguizamo, Mike? Was that Day? Dawn?
Land.
Land of the Dead.
Land.
I thought that was fantastic.
That's George's least favorite film he worked on.
What?
Because it was a studio-made film.
What?
Yeah, he hated
I
that
loved
one.
that film, dude. Did you like it,
I like
Sammy?
Not really. They're the guy with the messed up face.
There's a lot of humor. A lot of humor in it.
It was just weird. Like the zombies started talking in those, right? Like communicating with each other.
Yeah.
Big
The
grunt.
one guy,
Big grunt.
Big Daddy.
He's like, oh!
He still does conventions. That guy. He'll get up and do a panel.
He takes a jackhammer with him.
Yeah.
Come on, honey, we gotta move.
He sees the fireworks and he's like,
Yeah.
Phone is dead out.
What do they call them? The flowers?
All you get is
oh, the Tool Man Taylor, Tim the Tool Man Taylor.
Yeah.
They're going to be so worried about us.
I like when they jumped in the water.
As soon as we get to Willard, we'll call them. They might even be there.
Oh yeah, they walked across.
They walked
the wall.
across, yeah.
Tom,
I like when they broke into the mall, Mike, and you see the one biting the girl's belly button off. Oh, dude.
Was I wrong? Is that Dennis Hopper who was like
Yeah,
the
Dennis Hopper was-
the
yeah,
villain,
he was the
kind of the
main
guy?
guy.
Who,
Yeah.
owned like the whole compound.
Yeah.
Come on, honey, you're starting to sound like Mr. Cooper.
I've seen Diary a few times. I've only watched Survival once. I saw it at the Music Box Theater.
Diary wasn't
Survival,
too
the
bad.
new one?
Anything about that stuff.
Survival was Romero's last film.
All right.
Did you watch Diary, Sammy? It wasn't too bad.
That had a
so.
lot of comedy too.
That was like the found footage one, right?
That had a lot of comedy in it.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, with the mute farmer with holding up the sign. Like, hi, I'm Farmer Joe.
That newest one they did not too long ago, like the remake one or whatever with Jonathan Sage. He plays like the bub character kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, is that another Day of the Dead they did? Or,
Yeah, it was like maybe 5 years ago they did it, I think.
Okay.
It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
None of those like Day of the Dead sequels are worth this shit.
You know, as an audience, they don't understand that how tired these people are, young or not. This has been all day, and the shock of something like this happening, you're going on nothing but fumes, man. I mean, you're hungry, you're thirsty, you know, you don't know if your family's dead.
Yeah, think about that when you hear like a loved one died or something like that. Like, how bad you imagine, like, you know, with no water, no fucking.
And that little girl downstairs, dude.
You don't even have the comforts of like your own house or nothing.
Yeah.
You're stuck with a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, this fucking guy. He's gonna throw Molotovs.
Right, shut up.
He just gave him a box of fucking Molotovs.
I mean, that's pretty useful.
Oh, I'd like to leave. Yes.
You know, what is it about her that she was able to do this role? She was so monotone and just so, you know, like she was on stage 24/7.
You know what? I think I came up with a rule. If there's ever a zombie situation, I'm just gonna off the fucking smartass right away. It'll probably be me. I just fucking shoot myself in the head. But like, the moment someone tries to get fresh, I'm like, this never works out. Just trust me.
So you're saying you would want a couple of guys you can't stand there? Hey, buddy, go outside and see if it's clear yet. Close the door and nail it right away.
No, I'm like, you want to stay in this house? You got to hit this. Like, everybody be cool.
It'd be funny if there's an air conditioner in there and it falls on one of the zombies' heads.
That's what I would do. I would let it roll on one of their heads.
Like a Happy Gilmore when the air conditioner unit falls on the lady. She goes, Mister, get this thing off me.
Okay, toss him.
See, with my luck, the fucking jar would explode and I'd be all burnt up.
Is that the truck they're supposed to take?
Yes.
Oh, fire bad. Stop, drop, and roll.
See, I would have taken a couple more of those. You know, the jars, Mike? I would have taken a couple more of those and threw it at him.
I'm going with him.
Get back in the cellar.
I'm going.
It's too late. It's too late.
I saw a cool thing too. That's like when they were doing the makeup for him, instead of making everybody look like all decrepit and decaying, they focused on like, you know, like one thing that would make each zombie kind of stick out, like a slash here or a broken neck or something, or.
Why has that guy moved the truck yet? It's taking forever.
I think they're trying to get him to follow.
They gotta get gas. Oh wait, they don't have the keys, right? To the pumps?
No. But I think the kid does. I think the boy does, Mikey.
No, I don't think he does.
Yeah, see?
Oh, he does. Okay. Or it's the wrong keys. He's fumbling with the keys.
This key won't work. Watch it.
That was taking a big chance.
Yeah.
That would have pissed me off.
You gotta get away from the pump. Hang on. Tom, you're crazy. Get out of the truck. Let's get out of here. Come on, come on.
My jacket's caught.
See ya.
See, I would have left her in there. I would have left that dumbass in there.
Sounds like Godzilla's about to come. You think he would learn by now?
Yeah,
Like,
it should have been ahead.
Like Night 90, like Tony Todd gets in there, he starts kicking and punching all of them out, throwing them around.
See, that would creep me the fuck out. All those trees and it's dark. God knows where those things will pop up at.
I'm gonna whip your ass.
He takes off his belt and beats him with it.
Yeah, but you can't tell what you're gonna do when you're scared. I mean, he is helping.
I always talk about it because I thought it was so funny afterwards. But in the Haunting a Hill House, there's a jump scare in there, and I literally went like, "Ah!" and like, tried to like punch the fucking TV screen. I was like, "Fight or flight? I think I might be a fighter. I'm too fat to run."
Drag you out there and feed you those things.
This is so disturbing, man.
Barbecue.
So for this movie, they said all the flesh was like ham, and then they put like Bosco's chocolate sauce over it to make it look like blood.
Is that right? Really?
Yeah. And they were like saying like during these scenes like this, like they didn't even do zombie makeup for like the second scene because everybody was like so sick from it, like pale looking and fucking. Yeah, they said everybody thought it was the most disgusting thing.
Liver. Need some onions now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, doesn't somebody grab an arm? Oh, see, that's wrong, dude.
It's a femur.
Oh, that just turns my stomach.
That's cool too, like those quick, like the score, those quick stabs.
Yeah. I mean, look at him. He's got to be exhausted.
Isn't it 3 o'clock yet? There's supposed to be another broadcast at 3 o'clock.
10 minutes.
Oh, only 10 more minutes? We don't have very long to wait. We can leave. Well, we better leave soon. It's 10 minutes to 3.
He shoots her.
I know, right? Sorry, by mistake.
You know anything about this area at all? I mean, is Willard the nearest town?
I don't know. We were just trying to get to a motel before dark.
You say those things turned your car over. You think we can get it back on its wheels and drive it? Where is it?
Seems like it was pretty far away. Seems like we ran.
Forget it. It's at least a mile.
Johnny has the keys.
You're gonna carry that child a mile through that army of things out there?
I can carry the kid. What's wrong with her? How'd she get hurt?
One of those things grabbed her.
Bit her on the arm.
There you go.
See?
What's wrong?
Who knows what kind of disease those things carry? Is she conscious?
Barely.
She can't walk. She's too weak.
Well, one of us could try to get to the car.
You gonna turn it over by yourself?
You can't start the car. Johnny has the keys.
Cuckoo, ka-choo.
You have a car? Where? Where is it?
You won't be able to start it.
Yeah, I know. But where is it?
Good Lord.
Being monitored closely by scientists at all the radiation detection stations.
You know what's interesting? Zombies won't eat each other.
They report the level of the mysterious radiation.
Never seen that.
Only fresh victims. You know?
Yeah, but wasn't there only one zombie movie, Mike? That ridiculous one where they said, brains!
Return of the Living Dead. Yeah, but the zombies didn't eat each other.
I know, but I'm just saying that's what they wanted from us, is to eat our brains.
Yeah, Return.
So many holes in the zombie genre.
There is.
Send more
There is.
paramedics.
Like I remember, what zombie movie was it where the zombies were eating a horse, but then in the one where they're at the mall, the dog got away and they didn't want to bother the dog. They weren't eating animals.
Yeah, it went through the crowd and they.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was Dawn, 2004.
Or a heavy blow to the skull.
They sent him over to Andy's gun store. Fucking Ted Nugent looking ass.
Oh man, when he raised the sign, he was hungry, and you just see his ribs. Oh.
So this guy, the sheriff, George Costanza, he was at the convention once.
God damn it, Mike! He's got 3 cigars in his hat.
How's everything going?
Fuck.
Oh, things aren't going too bad.
Is God punishing me, Sammy?
You want to get on the other side of the road over there? Chief, do you think we'll be able to defeat these things?
It's weird sometimes when they pull up for conventions. They're like, this guy.
Well, it was that year. It was a night reunion.
I thought somebody was in there. There wasn't, though. We heard them making all kind of noise. We came over and beat them off, blasted them down.
He beat him off.
They're all
And then they
messed up.
blasted him.
Surrounded by 6 or 8 of these things, would I stand a chance with them? Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot them in the head. That's a sure way to kill them. If you don't, get yourself a club or a torch. Beat them or burn them. They go up to Well, Chief McClellan,
There's a funny clip from like a news thing in the morning, one of those morning shows or whatever. You know Dan Stevens, the actor? He was like in Abigail, the guy Frank, like with the glasses, the cop guy. He was on a morning TV show, and it was like an English show, and the lady was like, "So you're playing an American in this film? Like, how many men did you have to beat off to get that role?" And he's like, he starts laughing, and like you can hear the whole crew laughing. And she's like, "What's so funny? Like, you had to beat off some guys to get this role?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I beat off."
This is Bill Cardell, WIC.
Bill Cardell,
11 News.
Chili Billy.
Thank you, Bill, for that report. Official spokesman declined to speculate just how long it may take to kill off all the flesh eaters, so long as the heavy rain.
Blackout. Really had a
Is the fuse box in the cellar?
I don't know.
I'm gonna move my fuse box, Sammy.
Isn't the fuse? The power lines are down. Helen, I have to get that gun.
I think fuse boxes can only be installed in inconvenient locations where you
I know mine is. Mine is like impossible to get to.
Man, table legs back in those days were heavy.
that's what I
I've taken
said,
apart
dude.
a couple of those like antique ones.
Dude.
Nope.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You want to stay up here now? Helen, get the cellar. Get the cellar now. Move!
That was cold.
You should have said something, you know. Dinner's gonna be cold tonight, asshole.
Suck on this, motherfucker.
And that little girl's gonna eat him.
Not him.
That's cool that they still had the one zombie there from the
From the beginning.
The beginning.
And Johnny.
Johnny.
She does eat him.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Poor baby nun, she's eating your daddy.
Well, that's what it was. Yeah, I was trying to think what it was. In the original script, I think it was that the dad dies from the gunshot wound first and becomes a zombie, goes downstairs and kills the daughter.
Oh.
And the mom comes down and finds the dad eating the daughter.
Oh.
But I think they thought it was more like that was too fucked up.
So they show a kid stabbing a mom 12 times.
I thought the zombie daughter in Night 90 was much more frightening. When she comes up the stairs and she shows her teeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God. We don't know what happens to her right there.
I think it's kind of safe to say she's dead, probably.
Yeah, they got her. But this other sequel I seen, or remake, whatever, they show her getting away.
Pretty cool too, yeah. Like I said, the house was an abandoned house that they were just able to
destroy.
kind of fix up a little bit for the movie and then destroy again.
That's just the creepiest music, man.
I mean, maybe the original house is gone. Maybe they rebuilt over it, but I know it's private. You can't get close to it.
Did she take his arm off?
Yeah. Dinner's gonna be cold tonight.
All right. I know in a couple of zombie movies I've seen, they did say when you're older, you turn faster, and when you're younger, your body fights it off a little longer. There was a couple of zombie movies that they had said that they had mentioned that. Now, my father had a Winchester. That only holds 5 shots.
That's like a funny thing with guns in movies. Like, start counting shots, and you'll be like, 27 shots in a fucking...
Do you do that? Do you
I know my dad used
movies?
to, because he was a range instructor, so yeah.
I don't mean that. Just everything. Do you critique movies? Our horror?
Well, sure. Well, I mean, like, there are some films where you actually see guys reloading. Those I kind of like. Like, you know what? Those they tie the Raid movies.
Okay.
When the Raid or the Raid 2, they're reloading, they're driving and shooting at the same time, and they're reloading their pistols. I was like, that's cool.
They're shooting at the same time.
So for Heat, like Val Kilmer got so good and was trained by like professionals that they actually show like the Heat footage to SWAT people now. Like, this is how you should reload. Like, he got so good at doing it.
Look at Keanu in John Wick. He's constantly reloading.
Oh my God! Yeah. Did the ending piss you off, Mike? The ending pissed me off.
This?
Yes.
Oh.
It pissed me off.
Oh, they killed Ben.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
That was kind of a thing. Do you think they mean to, they don't even ask if he's a zombie first. They just kind of...
They just figured he was a zombie and shot him.
They thought he was,
yeah. They don't want to take any chances.
Another one for the fire.
I was actually angry how this ended.
So at the end here, like all the still photos too are also Carl Hardman did that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, he was an
the
artist.
guy who plays
huh?
the dad, yeah. The asshole.
Shepherds, beautiful dogs.
Hey, Vince, Al, you want to get about 4 or 5 men and a couple dogs? There's a house over here behind those trees. We want to go check it out. You stay here, Bill.
Yeah, Chief, we're going to stay with it till we meet up with the National Guard.
Where'd you get the coffee?
One of the volunteers, you're doing all the work, you take it.
Thank you. We should be wrapped up here about 3 or 4 more hours. We'll probably get into Willard then. I guess you can go over there and meet the National Guard. Nick, you and the rest of these men want to come with me?
Tell Bill to check in the office, see what's happening. All right, Steve, tell him we're going to stay with it, and everything appears to be under
So,
control.
I forget the character's name, but Lori Cardille from Day of the Dead, that's her dad.
The sheriff guy?
No, Bill Cardille.
That'd be just my luck, though. You'd survive a whole night and everything.
That'd be my luck.
Out of everybody. You pop out and shoot you in the face.
They need you down there by the barn. Okay. Some of these guys can follow the wagon down. I only need a few men to check out the house. Somebody had a cookout here.
So that short guy next to the sheriff, I think he was like the weapons expert on the film, and he supplied all the guns.
Nice.
Stravinsky, maybe, was his name, or something like that.
He's the dead one. Get up here. Hey, Tony, Steve, you want to get out in that field and build me a bonfire?
Bar.
You, drag that out of here and throw it on the fire. Nothing down here. All right, go ahead down and give him a hand. Let's go check out the house, man.
There's something there. I heard a noise.
All right, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes. Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
Oh, man.
Music was good.
The music was so good.
There's something about like the end of here, like, you know, how they just zoom in and zoom out.
I
and
told
all the
you,
weird,
Sammy,
like,
this disturbed me more than the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Look at the meat hooks, Mikey.
Yeah, the social commentary that George provided in this film. Yeah. Classic. Rest in peace to a lot of these people that are no longer with us. They made a fucking gem.
Yeah. Could you imagine being one of the zombies, Mike, and saying to your grandkid, hey, that guy right there, that zombie right there with no hands, that's me?
Well, you know what's interesting? I don't know so much from Night, but like people that played zombies in Dawn and Day, they do this giant convention at the Monroeville Mall called Living Dead Weekend, and they're doing autographs and the pictures, and they really celebrate Romero's zombie films at that convention every year.
That would have been so cool to be part of, man.
Mm-hmm.
See, Mike, the meat hooks they're just, oh, dude.
Yeah, they're dragging them. Took a village, took a bunch of friends to make this one. This
so good, though.
This was, you know, no studio. This was an independent film.
Oh, shot him in the head. Look at that.
George.
There he is. Yeah. There's the main guy.
George had the budget. Yep.
Hey, Randy, light these torches over here.
It's somebody's foot right there, their feet. Oh, man.
There you have it, folks.
Yeah. The classic.
Awesome. Thank you, George. Rest in peace to you.
Great movie. Yeah, I like to throw that one on every once in a while. Just like, you know.
The classic zombie movie, the best.
It's always good.
The best one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hopefully you
Can't beat
enjoyed
thanks
watching
for
along
listening,
with
folks.
us.
Thanks for watching. Hopefully, if you were listening to us on Spotify or iTunes or whatever audio podcast platform, you had the film in front of you to watch as we commentate. So thanks again for listening. Don't forget, check us out on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Send us an email. Sam, what's the email?
LastThreeRowsOfHorror@gmail.com.
Flashback Weekend.
Flashback.
August 2nd, 3rd, 4th. We'll be up there the 3rd. Come over and say hi if you see us. And we'll be back. We're going to talk about some newer stuff that we've seen in the theater and on all the apps. So stay tuned. Thanks for listening. Keep it horrific. See ya.
Bye.